Hi, I'm Mike Koenigs. I'll be your host today. I'm here with my amazing team. This is the Four Quadrants of AI for Founders. If you have seen me present before, I have some brand new content for you, some super exciting stuff. In fact, I just got back from speaking at NASA recently, and well, I'm going to demonstrate some of the things that I shared, including vibe coding, rapid product creation, and a whole lot more. I want to begin with an idea. This is something that a client, someone I really, really love, his name is John Kissel, said to me at our last live AI Accelerator event. He said, Mike, I'm surrounded with multi-$100,000 problems all the time. And I just want to use AI to help solve them. I want to create team members that can help me with that as well. And so, and those $100,000 challenges can easily be turned into $1 million opportunities. So I see a couple of you are asking about my audio. I'm just going to check it really fast, but otherwise you're going to have to crank up your settings because I believe I am all the way up. Let me just double check. All right. Checking, 1, 2, 3, testing. All right, how about that? There, is that better? Is that louder? Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for mentioning that. I really appreciate that. So anyway, the bottom line is in your business right now, you're surrounded by $100,000 problems and $1 million opportunities, and can you convert them into each one? And thank you for coaching me. I really appreciate that. So this is me on stage at NASA a couple weeks ago. I got asked to speak there about generative AI and how to use AI to get back to the moon and the Mars. And you're probably wondering, well, what the heck does that have to do with me? And I'll tell you what it has to do with you. We all have a couple of core problems all the time, and that is in order to get our message in front of people, in order to get customers, we've got to be great storytellers. And in this world of AI, you've got to become the best storyteller in the world if you're going to get attention or create a brand. And you've got to create products as quickly as possible. And with the power of AI, you can create faster, you can iterate faster, you can communicate more quickly. In fact, my son, Zach, I'll give you a little use case in a moment, just got asked to create a video for Tony Robbins for an AI event they have coming up. And that's just because he got busy and started learning these tools. And he earned it on his own merits, not because daddy made a call. So with that in mind, I'm going to get back to the slide and just say, by the way, when I was speaking at NASA, I'm not a scientist. I don't know anything about space, but I had AI and I was able to rapidly learn some incredible things really, really quickly. So this was the cover slide. The topic was generative AI to bring humanity to the moon, Mars, and beyond. And I spoke next to another, someone I had met speaking at an event, Dragana, who is an MIT teacher. So our promise was to help inspire the audience to solve NASA's biggest problems. Again, I didn't know anything about these. I had to learn on the fly. And their goal is to get back to the moon and to Mars by 2040. So the big promise I made is I'm going to show you how to build and prototype AI-powered solutions and create apps in real time. So the big idea was we wanted to solve NASA's challenges, use a specific type of generative AI, create AI super agents, which I'm going to show you today, and then build apps that would with AI really quickly. Again, I didn't know anything about this going in. I had to make it up. But because I had AI along my side using some of the tools and strategies that you can use in your own business today, I was able to present in record time. So, are you excited? Are you excited for the next spot? All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because the first thing I said that is really, really important is nothing matters if you can't tell a great story. And getting your message out to the world and getting customers, you can be the smartest person in the world with the best ideas in the world, but if no one ever hears about them, you got no customers, right? Biggest thing that I love about AI is you can create feature quality, television quality content now. I'll show you the tools today, some of the brand new ones. And what I was able to do is just talk to a NASA representative, a director there. I said, what's the biggest problem? And they gave me a list of the problems that NASA has. I fed those into AI, and it turned out that health problems were one of the biggest challenges that they deal with, because if you go in space, well, your respiratory system starts to fall apart. If you ever breathe any lunar dust, your respiratory system starts to fall apart. So I asked AI, what's an app we could create that could help solve this problem? AI came back with an idea, and I took that idea, fed it into AI. Again, I'm going to show you how I did it. It made a script, and then I used one tool or a series of tools to make the following video. So I'm going to show the video to you right now, and then when we come back, I'm going to rapidly just go through and share with you some of the latest tools that help you share your message and your content and create products so you can reach more people and charge more money. So here we go.
On the moon or Mars, every breath matters. Dust, radiation, and confined habitats silently stress the lungs. Astronauts often don't realize their respiratory health is changing until it's too late. CoughSense is a simple, non-invasive way to track breathing health over time. By analyzing coughs and voice patterns, it spots early warning signs, shifts in frequency, tone, and recovery that astronauts may not feel themselves. With CoughSense, crews gain autonomy in monitoring their own wellness without waiting on Earth for analysis. It's a safety net that helps protect missions, performance, and lives.
All right. So, well, you can imagine the crowd went wild for that. That was created using a tool called VEO3 from Google. Very, very impressive tool. Again, I'm going to show you how to access that in a moment if you haven't heard about it. I just fed in some basic ideas. One more little use case story. So that's me on the left. Duh. My son, Zach, who's 6'4", by the way, my nephew, Owen, and my brother, Joel. So I showed Zach some of the tools that I'm going to show to you shortly, and it inspired him enough, and also my nephew watched this as well. So the guy in the top right is John Kissel, the guy I mentioned who's surrounded with $100,000 problems. My nephew, Owen, used AI to build a little app to solve one of John's $100,000 problems with nothing more than the prompts I'm going to share with you today. He gave him a job, high-paying job. A little while later, Zach was talking to John, and John was saying, hey, I want to create opportunities for young people. I want to create jobs, and I'd like to create a software platform that will match mentors, business owners, and founders with young people and turn it into a business. Zach went to work, built the story I'm about to show you right now, and an app and a business plan in 1 week using the same tools I'm going to share with you today. And the bottom line is he ended up getting a high-paying job, and John gave him a part of the company, gave him equity. And Zach is 23 years old. And honestly, I have not done any more than what I'm going to share with you. In other words, he didn't get special preferential treatment. He's just been around this, seeing it evolve for the past couple of years. We are now approaching 3 years in time since ChatGPT was released. And what is happening right now is nothing short of mind-boggling. It's scary at times. I'm going to acknowledge the fact that it's changing the way the world has to think, for sure. But I want to give you some good news and demonstrate what Zach did, and then I'll get into the main content. So here we go.
Meet Sarah. Her startup needs marketing help, but she can't afford a $75,000 salary. Meet Miguel. He's brilliant at social media, but graduates with $40,000 in debt and zero real experience. What if there was a better way? Sarah posts her project on Prospect Forge. Miguel discovers it through our smart matching system. But this isn't just another gig platform. Sarah doesn't just assign work, she mentors. Miguel doesn't just complete tasks, he learns business strategy. They're building something bigger than a project. They're building a relationship. 6 months later, Miguel lands his dream job at a top agency. Sarah found her future marketing director. One platform, real mentorship, lasting relationships.
All that created with AI in a week by a 23-year-old kid. More soon. So first of all, raise your hands or just say that's me in chat right now if this sounds like you. I'm so busy running my business, I don't have time to learn AI. Yeah, that's what Aaron says. So I think we're all like that for sure. So, and look, I feel like I'm getting behind all the time. This is an incredibly overwhelming time. And the message I want to share with you, one of the most important ones today, is you don't have to learn a whole bunch of tools to be super effective. There's only a few that really, really matter. I'm going to show you what I consider some of the top ones. If I had 2 days with you, I'd be able to demonstrate and walk you through lots and lots of frameworks. But I want to give you some of the frameworks that give you freedom. And that is a central theme here. Frameworks do create freedom. And so a couple of my promises, and by the way, at any time, if you've got some specific questions, post them into chat for Aaron or Scott or Lori to answer, or scan the QR code. I'll show that multiple times so we can help you out. And I'll tell you more about some of the ways we can work together soon. But number one, how do you get attention? How do you grow an audience? How do you get customers? How do you get speaking gigs with AI? To me, the one thing that AI is not going to change is deep, meaningful human relationships. My goal is to make AI more human. And next, which AI to use, when, and why? And then how to create marketing content in your voice. AI super agents that think ahead, plan, and do your work for you. And then how to turn your ideas into complete marketing and sales funnel. These are, to me, another really important thing. And then how to get your team to adapt and use AI quickly. I think this is super, super important. Is just if you learn it, that's one thing. But if you're going to get the multiplier, the compound effect, everyone on your team needs to know how to use AI. And this is another very important idea. I believe right now, every business, at least in the United States, probably around the world, has about an 18-month adoption curve for AI. That's how fast this is moving along. So this should just, I want it to inspire you, not to create fear. But if your competition gets to AI before you do, it's going to put you at a disadvantage. They're going to create marketing content faster. They're going to get attention faster. And every day that you wait costs you lost time and revenue. And again, we're on just the first part of a rapidly moving hockey stick. And there's still time, I believe, and I'll say this a couple times during this presentation today, you plus AI creates a category of one. You have an opportunity to be the best, the only, and the most expensive in your category using AI. It's just that the time is closing upon us quickly. And early adopters see a huge return on investment, but late adopters are going to struggle to catch up. And my belief, my inspiration I want to leave you with today is your mission is to find effective ways to integrate AI to increase your top line revenue. That's by creating more value and make your teams 3 to 10 times more effective. So for some of you, I know you've just found out about me. I'm going to give you a quick 30-second bit about me. If you didn't see the video at the very beginning that was narrated by Tony Robbins. I've been married 25 years. That's my wife, Vivian. I have a 23-year-old son, Zach. I'm a stage 3 cancer survivor. So a lot of the work I do revolves around longevity these days. We work with a lot of clients in that space. I've built and sold 5 companies and created hundreds of products. And I've written 19 books. I have a podcast with Dan Sullivan called Capability Amplifier, and I'm a speaker. And the founder of Superpower Accelerator. We build, launch businesses and brands in a week. That's what Superpower Accelerator does. And AI Accelerator is a training platform for founders just like you who want to find more effective ways to use AI in their businesses. And I live in San Diego. We have a home in Malaga, Spain, and also in Baja, Mexico. So we split our time in multiple countries. We consider ourselves international citizens. So with that, let me give you some tools and a few techniques. And by the way, that little video that you just saw play right now, was done using a tool called VEO3. I'll demonstrate a little bit of that in a bit. So first of all, this is really, really simple. And I know you can do this on an Android, but I think the most important thing that I can give to anyone when it comes to AI in business or AI in your personal life is ChatGPT is at any given time the Swiss Army knife of AI tools, and it learns a lot about you the more you use it. It's not my only go-to. I have a couple that I really, really like. But if you have an iPhone, you've got a button on the side that's called your action button. Android users, I'm sorry. But if you go into your general settings, you can program that, and whenever I press my action button on my phone, it automatically launches ChatGPT. So I talk to ChatGPT all the time. It becomes my companion. The most important lesson about this, and here I'll demonstrate it here, is if I just press the button, boom, it pops up and launches ChatGPT immediately. Give me 1 second while I check with my team here. I just got a little message from them I want to verify. All right, so that's number one. Use AI, and the other thing is this. I believe that as humans, we've given up our agency for a long time to some sort of a higher power or a higher authority. AI can be your MetaCoach. What that basically means is if you find yourself asking how questions, you don't need to ask any how, because you can have the answer to anything at any time. And I can't believe it's like, how? What should I use for this? How can I do this? Talk to ChatGPT. Talk to it just like a human. So one of the exercises that I like to share with people, and this is really basic. A lot of you just said, keep it basic, keep it simple. I'm going to go to advanced fire hose in just a moment, but I want everyone to get some big nuggets here. You can just take a picture of this or pop it into ChatGPT and tell me what it comes up for you. But if all you did is typed into ChatGPT, take everything you know about me and describe me in just one word, it's going to compile all the input feedback, your behaviors, into one word. Mine came back relentless, which I consider a compliment. But if you take that the next level and you put in a prompt like this, which is, you are my AI MetaCoach. Based on your full memory of our past conversations, do the following. Identify 5 recurring patterns in how I think, speak, or act that limits my growth, even if I haven't noticed them. And for each blind spot, tell me where it shows up, the topic's tone or behaviors, what beliefs or emotions drive it, how it holds me back, and one practical and comfortable action I can do to challenge it. And then challenge me with a single brutally honest question that no one else in my life could dare to ask, but I need to answer. And then suggest a 7-day self-recalibration exercise based on what you've observed. Okay, that's a good prompt, a really good prompt. But if you feed that into ChatGPT, you'd be amazed at how much input and feedback it'll give you in real time. You don't have to wait. This is a very, very important thing. AI is a time machine if you use it properly. If you get into the habit of asking how questions to AI in real time and starting everything that you can dream and imagine in real time and never waiting, it becomes a teleportation device. This is how people and companies get ahead, is the time savings alone. So I'm going to show you some more time saving strategies as we move along. But the other most important thing is you can solve any problem, just talk to AI like a human. What I just shared with you is a pretty complex prompt, but you don't even need to know how to prompt. If you remember what's known as the MAC method, remember I told you frameworks create freedom. The MAC method is mentor me, teach me how to do this, show me how to do this. You don't have to ask any how questions anymore. You can ask AI that, and then now do it for me. In other words, make me a prompt that will get this outcome, and get into the habit of thinking about the outcomes you want, not the problems you have or the how questions you have. How gets in the way. The tools get in the way. And then now critique and improve it. If you just remembered this one thing, if you just took this away and used it and really grokked it fully, this is where your great leaps are going to come from. So with that in mind, I'm going to give you a fire hose right now, which is which AI should you use and when? I'm going to answer that first of all with a big idea, and this is how I train teams to use AI, and that's the multiple genius strategy. Here's what I mean by that. If you had an opportunity to hire one PhD genius to solve a problem for you for $20 a month, would you do that? I would hope yes. What if you could hire 10, each for $20 a month? They could all go away and work on the same problem simultaneously for you and come back and then synthesize their results together. Would you consult with your panel of geniuses, your 10 geniuses all the time for $200 for unlimited use all month long? I hope so. So that's a statement in a lot of directions. So for example, when I spoke for NASA, one of the things that popped up was, hey, what are all the problems that NASA have? And the director that I worked with, Crystal, said, hey, I know there's about 150 challenges that NASA has getting back to the moon or getting to Mars. What are they? Well, I didn't know the answer. Instead of going to Google, I consulted using a tool called ChatHub. This lets me run 6 simultaneous AIs. You can see this in full screen right now. Okay. All of them came back with some responses, but if I push the bottom right button, it synthesizes the output from 6 geniuses together. Again, that's chathub.gg. That's the name of this tool. Now I'm showing that to illustrate the idea to you, but now I'm going to show you another big picture idea, which is here's how I solve almost all my problems and how I teach teams to use AI. Is yes, you can use ChatGPT, but I consult with and I frequently pass along the same question to 10 different tools. Claude, which is really good at copywriting. GenSpark, which is my go-to super agent. You'll see more GenSpark soon. Grok, which is Elon's tool. Perplexity, which is a great research AI. Manus, another super agent. Brilliant tool. It can write entire books. Minimax, another super agent. It's really good for logic. Gemini, which is Google's tool. Abacus, another super agent. And one called Kimi, another super agent. Chances are you haven't heard of a whole bunch of these, but what's important, do you have to use them all? No, you don't have to use them all. I like to use them all because I like 10 geniuses solving the same problem and looking at the results it gets, because anyone can pick a good response. So this is an advanced idea, but I'm going to show you something that I did for NASA. I said, turn this description, in other words, all it was a description of CoughSense that app that I described earlier, into a full code prompt that I can put inside a code generator and produce an app that will be fully functioning. Now, there are a whole bunch of tools available that write apps. And so here I passed in this description that ChatGPT gave me from that single prompt, and it wrote an entire specification for a software platform. Okay? I didn't need to know anything about code. I didn't need to know anything about writing some sort of a product. I didn't need to know anything about space. I didn't need to know anything about being an MD. And this thing starts building the code for an entire software app that I could paste into another AI. So this is this idea of stacking genius. You just start with a concept and iterate. So the biggest takeaway here is just one AI can do one thing for you, but why not use 6 at the same time? And the next thing I get all the time is, oh, well, what about hallucinations? Doesn't AI, I've heard before that it makes stuff up. And so what you do is you take the response from one and you put it in another, ask it to fact check itself, okay? So the most important thing here is people make stuff up, people lie, people make mistakes, okay? AI doesn't intentionally do it. They're honing the models all the time. They're getting better all the time. That's one thing you can expect. But this is, again, use a whole bunch. You've got access to many, many geniuses for a couple $100 a month. And yes, I pay for these tools. So my number one recommendation from a conceptual point of view that I hope you walk away with today is you can use AI right now just by trial and error to become what I call a category of one leader in your business type. I don't care what it is, but if you just add or stack AI with what you already know and do, you will be the best in the world at what you do faster than someone who isn't. So, on to the next quadrant. So quadrant 1 was enhancing your AI superpowers. Quadrant 2, I call it the one-person marketing team. It's how to grow your brand, your reach, and gain attention with high-value, engaging content in your voice. So I'm going to give you some prompts. Get ready to take pictures of the screen if you want these prompts, just like the other ones. I'll start with another problem, which I told NASA. So the audience there was filled with engineers, heads of state, investors. There were bureaucrats. There were engineers of every variety, scientists. There were futurists in the room. Somehow they all have to get together, but they all have one problem in common with each other. Do you know what that is? Type it into chat. What's the number one problem everyone has? Especially if you want to get customers or you want more money. You know what that is? Robert Floyd says, not enough time. Okay? Yeah. So I already said AI is a time machine when you use it right, especially if you employ 10 geniuses solving the same problem at the same time. That is a time machine. So it isn't time. I'll tell you what it is. It's storytelling. You got to tell a better story. And so NASA has, when we looked at the 150 plus problems that NASA has, one of the biggest challenges they have in getting back to the moon and getting to Mars is energy. Okay? How are they going to survive the lunar night? How are they going to create food? Okay, Patty Ann said uncertainty. That's true too. Okay, so this was something that came up. So again, I'm talking to the director at NASA and she says, you know, there's some sort of a material. It's a waste product that's made when manufacturing plutonium that can be used as an alternate energy source that could be used in space. So in real time, I just typed it into ChatGPT and immediately I got the answer. Okay, so it's called Americium 241. So this is the response that ChatGPT gave me. I knew nothing about it. I didn't know any of this stuff. But again, my goal was to find ways to tell a story. So I said, hey, take that, turn it into a pitch package, turn it into a script so I can tell a story to NASA about using a waste product to help get back to space and make this engaging and entertaining. And I needed to do it really, really fast, like in 15 minutes while I was talking to her. So I just took the response that ChatGPT gave me. So again, I want to put this in context for you. You don't need to know anything about a problem, except you can discuss it with ChatGPT, and then you can say, hey, tell me about this thing, turn it into a script or a story. And that's what I did here. And then turn this outline, basically the raw information, into an elegant, informative, educational, and easy to understand pitch video to engage an audience of NASA professionals, academics, investors interested in space, and entrepreneurs interested in public-private partnerships to further the cause of lunar and Mars exploration and development. Produce a 1 to 2 minute pitch with a movie trailer style male narrator with a deep, engaging voice. Okay? Now, by the way, if you follow otherwise, I know you might be looking at this. If you're not a great prompt engineer saying, oh my God, that's really complicated. I didn't write the prompt. I can just say, make a prompt that will give me this outcome, and it would write the prompt that will do it. Now that, again, that's a meta concept, but I think the big takeaway here is, again, you don't have to be an expert to become an expert really quickly on any topic. That's why I'm using NASA as an example. So one of my favorite tools for creating videos right now is InVideo. The reason is it can write scripts, it can do the entire video, and it looks photorealistic. I'm going to show you an example of one right now. And first of all, how InVideo works. So I got the output from that prompt, gave me a script. I grabbed that script, I pasted it into this tool called InVideo. InVideo has a free trial, but it is not cheap. In other words, it can cost $20 to $100 to create a high quality video. But if you take a look at this video, I want you to type into chat right now, how much money, how much time would this take if you had to hire someone who would take an idea, meet with you, write a script, create a storyboard, do a voiceover, create animation or find footage, and then edit it together and send it to you. How much time and how much money? So InVideo does all that through a prompt, just like I showed you right now, and it takes about 20 minutes. So I'm going to show you the output from what InVideo took with something A, I knew nothing about, B, I needed to rapidly tell a story, 3, I needed to show other people how to tell a story so they can get what they want done, because right now there are billions, even trillions on the line, lots of jobs, lots of opportunities that are a side effect or byproduct of space exploration. This is what InVideo produced in about 20 minutes.
In the shadows of every space mission lies a question. How do we keep the lights on when the sun can't reach us? Solar panels fail in endless night. Batteries run dry. Plutonium-238, NASA's power source of choice, is rare and vanishing. But hidden inside yesterday's nuclear waste lies tomorrow's cosmic battery, Americium-241, a byproduct no one wanted, a contaminant discarded until now. Half-life, 432 years, constant heat, reliable, abundant, and waiting. Already under development in Europe. Americium-241 is the next fuel for radioisotope thermoelectric generators, RTGs, that will power habitats, rovers, and probes, not for years, but for generations. Already under development in Europe, Americium-241 is the next fuel for RTGs, that will power habitats, rovers, and probes. Not for years, but for generations. This is not science fiction. It is science. Recycled. Waste becomes lifeline. Liability becomes legacy. Public-private partnerships can turn stockpiles of toxic trash into engines of exploration. Imagine a future where every step on the moon, every night on Mars, every signal from deep space carries the heartbeat of a power source born from waste. Americium-241, from nuclear trash to the battery of the cosmos. The next frontier won't be powered by what we discover, but by what we refuse to waste.
Wow, huh? So what's important is that was the first take. So how much time, how much money do you think that would cost to produce using traditional means? Writing the script, prototyping, meeting, iterating, creating the animation, or trying to find that stuff, okay? And what we do, yeah, Robert Floyd says $6,000 to $10,000. It would be 60 to 100 grand or more. 50K is what Chris Mansell said. That is an enormous, enormous amount of work. Now, if you could get it for $6,000 to $10,000, God bless you. You know some really, really great script writers, editors, concept artists, prototypers, etc. But it's really complicated. So I'm not suggesting you use that as the final, but if you're using the strategy that I shared with you earlier, which is of iterating with AI and then showing it to your teams and getting your team involved, it's a time machine. It collapses time. So I hope you had as much fun as I did showing that to you. All right. So the other tool that I use frequently, it's right here. This is called Google VO3. I'm using GenSpark, but if you look in the background, you can basically use this tool to, you go to GenSpark, and it has a capability called Generate Video. You can pick Gemini VEO3. You can say, I want something that's 5 to 10 seconds long, and then you could paste in a script, any idea, just a couple of words even, press enter, and what it does is it'll actually build the script for you, and then it will start iterating and creating a video. So you can create pictures and videos. Again, incredibly simple, and powerful. And the big takeaway I have for you here is these tools are incredibly cheap. It'll do the video, the audio. It can even create voice, and it's 100% synthetic. I use it sometimes just to prototype. So again, the concept is just play with it, rotate. So as time went on, this thing, I gave it another prompt. It made another video. I made another prompt. I made another video. That's how my son, Zach, is making videos for Tony Robbins right now. He created that prototype video that told the video story. So after a couple of minutes, this thing will finish up, make a video, and you can play it back, you can edit it, but more importantly, you can ideate. So I hope you just see the possibility and the potential. There's an example of what it looked like of a little Mars rover, and I just got a bunch of these started up all at the same time. So this is using the multiple genius strategy as well as just prompt and iterate and talk to it. Now I'm going to play something for you right now. If you know Samuel L. Jackson, there's an idea, we call it FAFO. If you're easily offended, plug your ears for about 15 seconds. But what does FAFO stand for? Well, here's what it stands for.
What does FAFO mean? Mike shouldn't be swearing on stage, but no one told me I couldn't. Fuck around and find out. You aren't going to lose a job to AI, but you will to someone using it.
All right, so the big takeaway there is, if you feel intimidated, it just means you just got to start playing around with it and talk to it. Ask it how. Ask it to guide you. ChatGPT will guide you, and then you can start stacking a couple of these tools. But you got to start with square one. But the hockey stick extends. The time machine gets faster and faster in all the best of ways. All right. Robert Floyd thought that was funny, so I'll take one LMFO. LMAO. Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to ask you in chat right now, so far as we've gone through this, what are your biggest takeaways and shares? What have you observed that you're going to be able to use that will give you the most value, outcome, or results in your life or your business that's been shared? What can you use right now? Is it the genius strategy? Is it the stack of tools that I demonstrated? Is it the conversation? Nabi just said InVideo. Great tool, great prototyping tool. I love creating visuals. John Murphy is the 6X genius. Robert Kraft, the tools. Chris says the list of tools. And again, each one has a different personality. It's just like talking to an employee. You're going to have a team member who's really good at one thing. And Jeff has, there we go. Jeff grabbed that entire prompt. Very good, Jeff Peoples. I know we're going to be talking soon. So conversation, the 6 geniuses. And JP just said, being a bit late on AI might be a benefit as possibilities grow and get better. Here's what I would tell you. When was the right time to start using email? When was the right time to start building a website? When was the right time to do online shopping? Okay. What we're seeing is something that is multiple magnitudes of order greater than the past. And yeah, Robert Kraft said now. All right. So quadrant 3 are opportunities and income. This to me are, where are you going to get bigger deals? How are you going to access bigger customers? How are you going to create new offers? How are you going to command premium prices? So your goal should be to create a category of one brand enhanced by AI to be the best, the only, and the most expensive in your market. Now, if you've been looking at this, one thing I will tell you, AI is still imperfect. It makes mistakes. It doesn't always produce a great output. That's why I showed you the multiple genius strategy. If you have a whole bunch of geniuses working at the same time, or like if I'm using InVideo and I want to create a prototype, I create 4 at the same time, not just one. And every one of them is going to be a little bit different. And I pick the best one. Just like if you could hire 10 people to work on the same problem and pick the best 3 and then refine and collaborate between those. Except now you can, and you can do it all at the same time without financial and time restrictions. So the 10-80-10 means You provide the first 10% input and feedback using the MAC method. Mentor me, show me how to do it, and make it better. Okay, that's what the initial prompt is. Let AI do the 80% and then you do the polish. Now the truth is, for many things, AI can only do the first 30 or 40%. But it's still faster. It's still a good option. So I showed you CoughSense. I'm going to show you something right now. This is more advanced, but pay attention not just to the specifics, but it's what I'm talking about, because the big picture, the meta of this is most important. So one of the things I did with CoughSense is I showed NASA the mini commercial that I made and told them about the importance of being able to tell a good story, because no matter if you're the best in the world, if you're quiet and no one can hear your story, none of it matters. You don't get permission to be the best in the world, right? And get paid. So what I did is I took this idea that we had from a brief conversation, which is the respiratory system of humans falls apart in space. If you breathe space dust, it's really going to mess you up. So is there a way we can build an app that can help solve that problem? So what I did is I took a little code, a prompt, I put it into ChatGPT, and it basically wrote the specification for code, all right? So from there, and this is what's called a build prompt. In other words, in the past, you'd have to hire a programmer or a designer, and you go through all sorts of iterations that could take weeks or months of time. Now you can basically say, I have an idea, give me a specification for software or a product. You could feed your book into this and build a book. Now, just like before, and take a picture of this, I'm only going to hold on this for a moment. These are a whole bunch of tools that write software, okay? Basically automatically. The yellow ones are my favorite. Lovable is one. Another one's called Replit. Another one's called Rourke, R-O-R-K. Rourke will actually build iPhone apps and Android apps. Rocket.new is another one, and Base44 is another. Those are the 5 that I love the most, but I always have 10. Take that picture on 3, 2, 1. All right. Now, using the same strategy I told you before, which is the genius strategy, I actually open up 10 different windows for the 10 different software products and feed the exact same prompt to write the software that AI wrote for me inside the apps, okay? So there I'm pasting that prompt into Lovable, okay? I'm pasting it into one called Rourke, which is the one that builds iPhone and Android apps. Here's Google AI Studio, okay? Google has a tool that writes software. Here's Base44. All these, again, the product isn't as important as the idea I'm sharing with you, which is take the same idea, feed it into multiple AIs to solve the same problem. Every one of them approaches the problem from a slightly different perspective, just like a human would. So think of this as though if you had the time, the money, the resources, energy to just talk about an idea and say, I want to build a software product, you could talk to 10 different companies if you could afford it. Okay, if you were writing software, it could cost you $10, $100, $1 million to write an app. But instead, I've got 10 products that are all solving and working on the exact same problem at the exact same time that I started off here. Writing code, and this code is surprisingly good. So what happened? After about 20 minutes, I had some of these apps were already semi-functional. So here's some examples. This is ChatGPT. It built an app that was designed where you'd press a record button and you'd cough into it. You'll see it in GenSpark, which is another one of these app generators. I press the button, okay? I cough, and you'll see the little meters in the bottom left there are moving while I cough. And the idea is this thing would track my cough and be able to determine whether or not I had respiratory failure. Claude, another AI, it wrote a completely different app a completely different way. Again, semi-functional. It also had a little meter when I'd cough into it. Okay, here's another app moving right along. You'll see what the app programming tool called Lovable created. Okay, I pressed the record button, but again, made a completely different user interface. It made some mistakes, but it started building semi-functional apps. This one with some better looking reporting, a better looking user interface in about 40 minutes. So me as a human, as an orchestrator, looks at the results from each of these 10 tools as they're building for me, and I give each one feedback just like I was talking to a team. But I'm not limited to just one team. I'm not limited to just one budget. I've got 10 genius teams, all powered by AI, trying to solve the same problem at the same time, each taking a completely different approach. This is the future of marketing, of product creation, of design. It's talking to and orchestrating multiple AIs at the same time, solving the same problem. So this is what Rourke built. It built a semi-functioning iPhone app in about an hour. Now, full disclosure, I spent a couple days tweaking each one of these so I had something really cool to show to NASA. But I had NASA engineers walking up to me going, this is breakthrough. We couldn't afford to do what one person can do with 10 AIs like you are. We've had multiple clients that we've built prototypes of apps, entire businesses with, using the same strategy. So I hope you're getting the big picture here of what this represents and what it means for us, all of us, which is the future of product creation, the future of marketing, the future of science, the future of medicine is on orchestrating, humans orchestrating multiple AIs to solve big problems all at the same time. This is the time machine. This is the teleportation device. So I did create a little scorecard out of all these. And I'll tell you, sometimes each tool produces better results than the other tool. There is no such thing as best. The best thing to do is get multiple tools working on the same problem at the same time. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give everyone. Just like if you could afford to hire 10 teams to work on the same problem. Most of us can't. I'm going to take a moment here. If you have some questions and you want help with AI and you'd like to work with us in some capacity, you can just post a message in chat for Aaron Biblo, who's on with me right now from my team, or you can scan this QR code and I'll give you some ideas of some ways we can work together in one of our tool systems in just a few moments. But if you'd like to have a conversation, just reach out to Aaron, either scan this QR code, visit that link, we'll put it into chat, or you can just say, I want help with AI or growing my next business, pop it into chat with your email and phone number, and we'll follow up with you, okay? All right, let's keep going. Thank you, Aaron. Quadrant 4, automations and scale. So this is another framework idea. So once you've got AI helping you out, making you smarter, giving you your time back, you've got it telling stories and marketing more effectively, you have it helping you create products and services, enhancing your value, you got to automate as many things as you can. Email follow-up, whatever it is. Again, if I had 2 days to spend with you, which is what we do at AI Accelerator Live, I'd be able to go through step by step each tool and we'd be doing it together. My goal today is to expose you to some of the concepts and ideas. So I'm going to give you some of the top automations and scaling tools. One of them is the tools I've shown so far, each of the screens. Manus.im, which I'm not going to demonstrate today, is one of my favorite tools along with GenSpark.ai. These are known as super agents. If I had to pick like 3 core AI tools, it'd be ChatGPT, GenSpark, and Manus. Those are the ones I go to the most to solve complex problems. And then having a library of workflows and playbooks. In other words, what step-by-step do I use in order to solve each problem? Again, I use my Genius Network at first to do these. All right. So I'm going to show you an idea because many of you said, hey, how do I grow my business and get more customers? So I'm going to show you how to use an AI agent to search and find contacts and prospects for your business. So take a look at this prompt. This can be modified for any business type. So take a picture of this. Identify 100 female-owned and operated businesses in North America in major cities that fit the ideal customer profile in the attached document. So you can create your ideal customer profile by saying, give me my ideal customer profile. So the ideal female owner belongs to professional organizations or industry associations related to their market, including EO, YPO, and ideally they have a recognized platform and appear regularly on podcasts or have written a book. Now that's an imperfect prompt, but basically it's saying, find me 100 prospects that are just like X. So if you just described your ideal customer, if you don't know what your ideal customer is, you can ask ChatGPT to give it to you. So the tool I use is GenSpark. This is one of the super agents. So if you pay close attention, I'm going to click on AI Sheets. And then I paste in that prompt and I press enter. And what the tool went out and starts doing is searching for that ideal customer prospect, and it builds a spreadsheet in real time. Now I sped this up just for the sake of demonstration purposes, and you'll see what it did is it went out and it found a whole list of businesses, owners, their industries, their location, their estimated annual revenue, how many employees they have, and then a description. Now, with a little tweak, we could also provide a prompt and say, now write an intro email to this person in my voice from me, describing how we could collaborate together. So there you can see I got a list of about 100 business owners in about 20 minutes using GenSpark. It also, so one of the things is Joe asked, can we use LinkedIn as an export to refine our search? And yes, you can definitely do that. So anything that you have already is what you feed into ChatGPT or GenSpark to refine this. That's the FAFO part of this. So what I want to leave this segment with is, right now, we've been working with a whole bunch of clients from all over the world, and we're building entire businesses, brands, products, launch systems using these same tools in a collaborative environment in days that used to take months or even years for some people. So yes, you have to FAFO a little bit. It takes some playing, but just start with the basics, which is install ChatGPT on your phone and get used to talking to it. The more you use it, the smarter it gets. So again, I'm going to ask you at this point, what were some of your biggest breakthroughs and takeaways so far? What is it that you can take and start using right now? And one of the things that Nabi just asked me is, what have I been using for a bunch of these slides? I use a tool called Ideogram, IDEOGRAM, to create a lot of these visuals. It's a really, really beautiful tool. So Instancio says solo entrepreneur is possible. That is true, okay? I think more so than ever before. And if you focus on empowering people on your team to be using these tools, that's where you start seeing these huge compounding effects. Okay, what else? What else have you taken away that's super valuable and useful to you? Go ahead and type it into chat. Okay. Edward just says he uses it to put together insurance pitches and asking what kind of questions and how to close. And Christy says, hey, I'm feeling empowered by it rather than overwhelmed. Thank you. That is a huge gift. And again, these just take a couple of steps. I'm going to show you the pathway to power, which is ultimately you just have to get around other people using this to get better at it. Okay? Endless possibilities, all doable. Very good. So I'm going to give you a couple big tips here. And Jeff People says using 10 platforms simultaneously, not just one or two. So I know AI can be overwhelming. And the question is, how do you get and stay ahead? And the key to me is fast implementation. So here's what I do. What I tell everyone is, number one, you got to make a commitment. AI is a mindset and a behavior. I think the tools can be a giant distraction. You don't need a lot of them. And biggest thing is just use it today and engage your team members, and remember to FAFO. Next is leverage. Capturing everything. Your institutional knowledge is your value and your training in one place. I didn't get into the weeds on that today. In some of my other trainings, I've demonstrated tools like Notebook LM and Otter for capturing everything. And that's what we use when we're onboarding people who come to our events, for example. And then use the multiple AI strategy. More experts are better. And they're cheap, 20 bucks a month, unlimited use. Better customers, use AI to find better customers. Again, I could spend an entire segment just on that. But you can sell faster by knowing who to sell to. And then, again, taking action today. My highest recommendation is get involved with a group. The way we've been teaching AI now for almost 3 years is we meet every single week. So today, I know I gave you a fire hose, but just imagine picking 1 or 2 of these ideas and going into it deep, step by step, ABC 1, 2, 3, and doing it interactively where we get to answer your questions. That's the most effective way to start using AI and implementing it in your business. So with that, I'm going to tell you briefly about our mechanism. And if you'd like to work together, we do an event. It's called AI Accelerator Live. We have our next one coming up. It is 2 days in person or remote. And we teach the 4 quadrants of AI, and we give you step-by-step workflows and manuals to enhance your superpowers, to increase your capabilities to tell better stories and attract better customers, how to increase the value of your business and your offer, and also how to automate. So every one of these is taught with real life case studies. So it's demonstrations, real customers, real clients, real outcomes with people just like you. We demonstrate the tool, and then we do a workshop where you actually get to do it with us. And then the best part from my point of view is sharing the outcomes. We had people building entire apps, creating entire marketing plans and campaigns in real time together with us. And my wife, Vivian, who's just created and launched an entire podcast with the help of AI. She started at the last event. She was working on it. Now it's completely launched. My son is going to be there. He's going to be demonstrating how he's using vibe coding and creating platforms and software and videos. He's going to deconstruct how he made the video that's being played for Tony Robbins right now. And there's a couple different ways to attend. There's either in person. It's at the Genius Network offices in Arizona. And what's important is it's you and a team member that can attend. So you can be in person, and then your team member can be virtual. You're going to meet with Aaron ahead of time, so we actually get to know you, learn about you. You get to tell us what challenges you have and what kind of outcomes you want, because I create custom curriculum for every event. And you also get access to our ongoing training. You get access to a couple years worth of past training, so you can get up to speed and up to date, and you get recordings from our last event. And we do pre-training as well. And you also gain access to a WhatsApp group for support. So that's in person. There's another big bonus that we're including with in person, which is an opportunity to meet with me one-on-one. So we call it the $1,000 cup of coffee. That's where you get to ask me any questions. I'll prototype or work with you in real time and give you some advice. It's normally $1,000. I'm including that with the AI Accelerator Live ticket. So here's some of the bonuses that we give you, and then I'll tell you about the virtual version. So number one, you get access to all of our past recordings from the last AI Live event, all the transcripts, all the blueprints and playbooks. You also get open access. So you get access to our current weekly training, which is continuing to move on. You get a one-on-one call. This, I can't tell you how important it is. We really take the time to get to know you. And then you also, the first 5 get a 1K cup of coffee with me. That means we can actually get deep into your business. And then also, I have Jeff Walker is going to be speaking there, and Joe Polish. So we'll also have a couple other special guests. It's going to be freaking amazing. The networking alone is worth it. not to mention the takeaways you get from the workshop. And the dates, if in case you're wondering, are October 28th and 29th in Phoenix, Arizona at the Genius Network offices. All that's on the page at aiaccelerator.com/live. And we're giving you a $500 off coupon, which is good until Sunday at midnight. Now, if you can't attend or you're out of the country, we have a virtual version as well. So that one you can attend via Zoom. By the way, the video quality from Genius Network offices is incredible, and it's totally interactive. You'll have a pre-event session, and you got breakout rooms so you can actually work and meet and talk to other people. So you'll meet a bunch of other super cool founders and entrepreneurs, and you'll get full recordings and all the playbooks. Okay, so it's real time, it's recorded. That's available. Again, there's a $500 off discount on that. So I'm going to answer any questions that you have coming up, but scan that QR code, go to aiaccelerator.com/live, use the $500 off coupon, which is BIRD500. And if you have any questions, just say, post your email and your phone number in chat right now, and Aaron will follow up with you right away. Again, that's Aaron Biblo. He's the Director of Client Experience. He's on right now. Hi, Aaron. Thanks for being here. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post those in chat. Otherwise, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you a little sizzle from our last event. And again, a quick summary of everything that you get, which is with the virtual event ticket, you get all kinds of goodies. So I'm going to show you this. This is my wife, Vivian. Her take on the last live event. You get to meet her. She will also be speaking and presenting. I like to make this a family experience. And by the way, if you've got a loved one or a spouse, ask about a second virtual ticket as well. So let me share with you my wife, Vivian Glick.
But Vivian, I just went through some brand new trainings.
Okay.
She didn't get to see me last night because I was working on the training for you today. But Vivian spoke at the event. She actually just reinvented herself, created a brand new platform. Why should folks be at the event? Why would they want to come? What was your experience, aside from the fact our son Zach was there, my nephew was there, my brother was there? It was a family experience. But what, from your point of view, were the biggest takeaways and breakthroughs that you witnessed?
I think that the ability for teams, for founders to come with their teams or to be working with their teams, and to be able to start putting these all of these tools into process while they were there, that you could just see all of these light bulbs going off and people getting super excited about what was possible in the moment. So I think that what really differentiated this from other programs that I've been to is the workshopping, that you're really sitting there, rolling up your sleeves, you're getting a lot of information, and then it just kind of begets itself, because when you see somebody else's light bulbs going off, then you're thinking, I want that too. And so you're looking more closely at the tools, figuring it out. I think people really solved a lot of problems while they were in the room, and also got inspired. And I mean, the networking is just fabulous. It's such a great, warm, close group of people who are really interested in progress and helping other people and making a contribution and in making their lives easier.
Good.
How was that?
You did a great job.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still thinking then. That's good.
We had a lot of young people too. So I can tell you, we had a gentleman who, he's a significant figure. John Asaraf was there this time. I think he's planning on being at the next one. But a gentleman who's a major political figure was in the room, who brought his son. And his son walked up afterwards and said it was simply the most significant professional experience of his life. And it gave him an enormous amount of hope. We had fathers and sons and moms and daughters there. We are going to have them at the next one. So if you're looking for a way to give your kids a massive leg up, and again, I'm going to say working level kids. I wouldn't be opposed to younger people, but we've got to say, 18 and above, unless they are truly exceptional. But we had
Every kid is truly exceptional.
it is exceptional. But we had a young man there who, he's the son of a guy that I know who went there and he developed an app from scratch while he was in at the event that was launchable when he left. And that is, if there's anything that I hope and I wish for you, is the fact that you can really make your dreams come true and invent and create things that you didn't think were possible, that you may have been stuck on for the longest time and just haven't been able to get traction on. And this opens up the possibilities and takes away the doubt. And the psychological benefits of this are more profound than the financial ones.
Right.
So I don't know if there's anything else we have to say, except my nephew, who was there, got a job from one of the attendees, who's actually here for one of his extended Superpower Accelerator Vision Days for the next 3 days. And
our son got a couple of little gigs out of it too. So
Zach Scott, he's working doing AI. So
we're providing solutions while we're providing tools.
Right on. So are you going to come to the next one?
I am.
Yep. You'll see Vivian there as well. And I don't know if there's anything else I want to leave you with, except we're giving you an additional $500 off coupon that's good until Friday. That again, I'll put that back on the screen. And at this point, I'll take any questions that you have, and stick around. And I know you've got an appointment you've got to run.
I do. I have a doctor's appointment. I just went to.
All right. I love you. Thank you for showing up. All right.
Bye.
See you.
All right. So that was my beautiful wife. All right. Here's the big takeaway I have. And by the way, I see a few names in here that I want to give some shout outs to. If not now, when is a very important concept. I think AI is the most substantive, important piece of technology that's ever hit the human race since the discovery of fire, okay? And if you think of this as the moment where you've made a decision that's going to affect your business and your life, and you're not actively using AI and honing your skills with it on a regular basis, this is much bigger than the internet and the web. It is much bigger than email. It is simply going to create a huge separation between those who are using it and those who aren't. And I know there's a lot of challenges that come along with that. I choose to believe in the positive effects that it has, because the genie can't be put back in the bottle. There's no way it can be regulated easily at this point. So the best thing is just take advantage of the tool to the best of your abilities. And so I'm going to answer one quick question before I just say, just sign up, come to the event. You're going to have an amazing time, whether it's in person or digital. The takeaways are astonishing, and you're going to find the family you're looking for inside of this community as well. The people who we attract are just amazing human beings. And yeah, Jürgen says, if not now, when, especially with AI. Thank you for that. I know I messed that sentence up. And for Robert, who's 82, watching this right now, asking about music, if there's a tool you can sing into and have it automatically print sheet music. So I'm going to give you two things. One of them is look up an app called Suno. Suno does let you input your own vocals. It also makes entire music in something called stems. So it creates the bass, the guitar, or any instruments at all. And you can have it compose in any style imaginable. And you can even import your own voice. If you want to know more about like what tools to use that do sheet music, ask ChatGPT. Have it create a buyer's list. You give it a prompt and it'll provide that for you. So here's what I'm going to leave with. I'm going to play a little mini video. It's from our last event, so you can see what the experience is like. I want to thank you for spending time with me today, and sign up before the deadline on Sunday. That's when the coupon expires for to get $500 off. I promise you'll have an awesome time. So here you go. Enjoy this video. As founder, entrepreneur, visionaries, we're in a constant state of trauma of not enough time, not enough money, not enough talent, not enough capabilities, not enough people. You can make it up and make it real faster than ever before and collapse time. And that's why we're going to see the first one-person billion-dollar company. It's going to be the visionary who implements fast.
Imagine it coaches you, your future self coaches you through your decisions every day. It's always aware of what you're doing. It knows who you want to be. We've already got the tech to do it, to be always on, always aware, and then give you proactive advice. I think we're going to have a really crazy world that we're living in.
Right now, creating content at scale and matching what your audience is actually wanting right now is critical, more critical than ever before. Pay close attention to the shift that's happening right now.
I believe right now we have about 18 to 36 months as business owners and founders to take advantage of AI and incorporate it both in our lives and our businesses, or you are going to be left behind.